Tokyo. With almost 38 million inhabitants, the capital of Japan is the largest metropolitan region in the world. An additional 10 million visitors are expected to attend the 2020 Olympic Games, a challenge of previously unknown dimensions in terms of safety technology. Tokyo's citizens are used to a lot of things. Their city is located in one of the most active earthquake zones in the world. Natural forces such as typhoons and heat waves cause deaths and injuries every year. Nevertheless, Tokyo still ranks #1 on the Global Safe City Index. But the Olympic Games could also bring global threats such as terrorism and cyber attacks to the city. Tokyo is hoping for safe games and is meticulously preparing for the West. The most expensive security concept in the history of the Games is being developed with great technical and personnel effort to protect athletes, visitors, and not least the inhabitants of the city. On the occasion of the Urban 20 Mayors Summit, the mayors of the G20 capitals will meet in the Shinjuku district to exchange experiences, also with regard to security. The host is the governor of Tokyo, Yuriko Koike.
Now, I'd like to propose a toast to the success of the conference, to your health, and to the prosperity of the cities you lead. Cheers, kanpai.
Time magazine counts Ms. Koike among the 100 most influential people in the world. She is responsible for the success of the Olympic Games and for the safety of guests from all over the world. With hardly any history in the country, terrorism. Control and protection of millions of viewers from all over the world is becoming a mega challenge for security authorities. Major events such as the Tokyo Marathon play an important role in the preparations, also with regards to coordinating the cooperation between police and private security companies. Governor Koike gives the starting signal. With almost 38,000 runners, the marathon is above all an important opportunity to test various safety systems. For the first time, the data of all runners are linked to a facial recognition system that will also be used at the Olympic Games. For those responsible, it is crucial to use the experience gained here to prepare for the Olympic Games. In the run-up to this, a number of security trade fairs take place. In the Congress Center Tokyo International Forum, companies show products for the defense against chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear attacks, all of which pose major threats in the context of the Olympic Games. At the same time, doctors are holding a conference to raise awareness for these challenges. Keynote speaker Dr. Hiroyuki Ishikawa is head of the Medical Association. He talks about dangers that have not yet played a role in the daily routine of local aid workers.
First of all, the purpose of today's conference is to make simple doctors, firefighters, and local government aware of the importance of counter-terrorism measures. For example, measures against chemical and biological attacks, radioactive contamination, and nuclear weapons. And we want to provide advice to the people involved in such measures, for example, through seminars. I believe that if a terrorist attack or an attack with ABC weapons strikes here, everyone will be very shocked at first. We will probably have to avert the initial shock and panic first. That is why we are organizing such a conference, to raise public awareness for this danger.
The use of artificial intelligence has long been a survival strategy. The population is shrinking rapidly, and in the past year alone has decreased by over 400,000 people. Almost 1 in 3 is older than 65. That is a world record. The result is a shortage of personnel in many areas, even at the Olympics. The scheduled 20,000 police officers will not be enough to secure all 43 venues. Mr. Iwashita explains the challenges in the headquarters of the organizing committee.
これによってですね、警備員を
We need a lot more security than we've needed in past games. If there's only one Olympic park, one security check is sufficient. This time, however, we have to carry out a security check at each individual venue.
Currently, there are still almost 10,000 security personnel missing. To close this gap, Tokyo also relies on volunteers, who could be deployed after special police training. But so far, only few could be won over for this work. Many are afraid of the heat. Luckily, there is a rather Japanese way of dealing with this problem.
People often ask, is that a cleaning robot? That seems to be the first impression for most people.
In fact, Reebok X is a high-tech device for various applications.
It can do three things. Point 1, the robot can give customers information at the station. Point 2, it can detect suspicious people at the station. And point 3, it detects suspicious objects. We will test these 3 points today. The robot has the necessary senses for surveillance: eyes, nose, ears, mouth. It can activate these senses and thus take over the work of a guard.
Few people know the price of security. During its entire deployment, Reebok X transmits a wealth of information, including personal data, to the head office. The young woman who wants to know how to get to her platform doesn't just receive information, she turns into a piece of information herself. And so, quite casually, Reebok X checks everyone and everything.
Getting back to the Olympic Games, it is considered to position the robot in many places. Where exactly is not yet clear, but the robot will certainly do part of the work. We will make that possible.
The less personnel available, the more digital helpers are needed. Apparently, that's the Japanese motto. A further development is still in the test phase. It tries to counter the lack of personnel and at the same time expand the control options. The virtual policeman. He is to be deployed in the building's security system. He provides information, but above all, he observes. And in an emergency, he even repels bad guys. That is, if they obey him.